Okay, ma'am. Okay. We explained about free software foundation or open source software. Open source code for a software means the instruction we create in a programming language. Programming languages are C, C++, Java, C Sharp. There are so many programming languages. Whatever programming language you use, if you reveal the source code, if you reveal the code using which you have created a program, the software is open source software. Open source software or free software. Okay. This was initially invented by the Free Software Foundation and the GNU project. Richard Stallman was the person who initiated this free software movement. Okay, then what are the software packages? Common software packages we use in everyday life, which belong to the category of open source software. Linux operating system, Ubuntu, is one of the free software packages. Firefox browser, then LibreOffice or OpenOffice. There is an office package called LibreOffice or OpenOffice. It's a free software. Okay. Then GIMP, GNU Image Manipulation Program. It is the free version of whatever we get from Photoshop. It's similar to Photoshop. It does everything Photoshop does, whereas it's a free software. Okay. Then okay, there may be several other packages. This person, the person on the left, who is he? The ah, Richard M. Stallman. They call him RMS in short. Okay, he was a genius. He was awarded the Genius of Award, something like Genius Award for excellence in computer programming. He was an employee of Artificial Intelligence Lab (AI Lab) in America. AI Lab means it is the topmost intelligence agency for American research for computer science. AI Lab, Artificial Intelligence Lab, is the best place for highest powered brains. Okay, he was an employee of Artificial Intelligence Lab, AI Lab. Then this person, he is Linus Torvalds. He created a Linux operating system. He offered it free of cost to everyone, and this was adopted by GNU project. GNU adopted Linux as one of its operating system. GNU Linux. They call it GNU Linux. Okay. Features of Linux OS. Look, all operating systems have two components. Hmm? Just like human beings, we have a dress and then we have our physical body. The dress is shell. We have a, if you have an egg, the outer layer is the shell. The inner core is the kernel. Any fruit, you take a fruit. The outer layer is called the shell. The inner core is called the kernel. 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 In operating systems, we have two layers. The first one is the outer layer. The outer layer which interacts with us. It is called the shell. The outer layer is called the shell. You can change the shell just as you change your dress. Every day, you can change your shell, go to a new shell, work with it. No problem. Whereas the kernel cannot be changed. Kernel is the core of the operating system. It does not speak to us. Kernel will not interact with us. It will remain inside. It will interact only with the shell. It will interact only with the shell and then with the hardware components. It is too busy to look at us. If you go to the CM's office, will he be coming out and inviting you inside the chamber? Have you ever gone to any VVIP office? You would be too busy. They would not notice you. You may have to wait. They would not talk to you directly. You may have to hire some person to send your message. Similar to that, the kernel is deep inside the operating system. It will not talk to us. It is VVIP. It has got the status of VVIP. It will not speak to us. Just like you can say, when you go to the temple, does God speak to you? No. Whereas the Pusari speaks to you. Similar to that, the kernel doesn't speak to us. The kernel is like the deity inside. It does not speak. Whereas the shell speaks to us. It is like the Pusari. Okay. It may speak to us. Okay. Look, kernel is a VVIP. Simply remember, kernel does not spend time with us. It speaks only to the shell or to the hardware components. Done. Okay. Then Linux operating system provides software packages for almost all common tasks. Whatever we wish to do, Linux also offers a set of packages similar to Windows. Windows, Mac, and Linux. They have a set of packages. LibreOffice provides SWriter for document editing, SCalc for spreadsheets, and Impress for editing presentation. We have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint in MS Office. Whereas the equivalent of Word is SWriter. Star Office Writer. S stands for Star Office. Whereas Star Office is no longer available. Star Office was discontinued, and whereas the name still remains. SWriter stands for Word. Then SCalc stands for Excel. Impress stands for PowerPoint. Okay, GNU Image Manipulation Program. This is the program used for editing images, not only ordinary images. It is used for editing photos, photo editing. Whatever we do with Photoshop can be done with GAMP as well. GAMP is capable of doing high scale image editing. Okay, then Blender 3D is a software for creating 3D models. Not only 3D models, 3D animations. 3D model is a static model. Whereas 3D animation, you create an object and you allow it to move and interact with other objects. That is 3D animation. Blender 3D can create models, can animate existing models. It may be used for what? Animations and creating movies. Maybe for creating movies. Blender 3D was used for creating a film. I told you the name. Kung Fu Panda. The first version of Kung Fu Panda was created using Blender 3D. It's a free software. Okay. Then OpenShot and other software packages are available for editing video. Then next provide Linux has got several program support for several programming languages: C, C++, Java, C Sharp, then PHP, Python. All programming languages have a Linux compiler or interpreter. Therefore, any programming language is easily accessible from Linux operating system. It is easy to create programs, and the shell itself is a programming environment. We have done some arithmetic operations using shell script: addition, multiplication, subtraction, division. Do you remember? Others may have done it. Okay. Yes. Okay, ma. Then even with visual interface, it has got an elegant look. It has got a Unity panel. On the left side, we have a Unity panel in which the Firefox browser, Files Explorer, followed by other applications, Terminal and other applications are available. There will be at the bottom of the Unity panel, we have 9 dots, 3 by 3, 9 dots. These 9 dots, when you press them, it opens out all the applications. You can scroll down, scroll up, then find the application you wish. If you find it difficult to scroll up and scroll down, you can type a few letters in the name of the program. It will display the particular program. You can press it. It opens. Done. Okay. Then this is the user environment we find with Linux. Linux has got a vibrant user environment, right? Okay. Linux, is it visible? Okay, ma. You have used Linux, therefore it's not new to you. This is the user interface provided by the Linux desktop environment. These are some of the screenshots. Okay. Browser, Firefox browser. Then some settings. We have been editing settings in Linux. This is the settings. Then LibreOffice. LibreOffice Writer, SWriter. Okay, this is SWriter. This is SCalc. Calc. Excel like spreadsheet. Then this is GIMP. GNU Image Manipulation Program. GMP was originally created on Linux, created for Linux. Then they created a version for Windows. Windows version is also being used. We are using the Windows version isn't it, for editing images, terminals, and other things, for converting colors. We will be using the same for photo editing. In the future, we will be using the same for photo editing, creation of banners, and then some corrections, correction of damaged photos, rectifying damaged photos. When some photos are damaged, we can rectify the damages and provide an original looking photograph again. Okay, digital restoration. Then this files explorer, then basic Linux commands. We have already used the Linux commands in practical. We are going to summarize the Linux commands which are going to be used. Okay. One is the kernel. I told you already. The inner core of the operating system is called the kernel. The outer layer is called shell. There are two different components. One is the kernel, other one is the shell. Shell can be changed. You cannot change the deity inside a temple, whereas you can change the pusari. Similar to that, kernel cannot be changed. Kernel remains the same, whereas the shell can be changed. If we wish, we can use a different shell from the stock one provided. Okay, there are any shell script begins with hash, bang, bang or exclamation. Then /bin /sh. Sh stands for the default shell. Sh is the first two letters of shell. SHELL shell. Sh is the default shell. It is born again shell. Born shell. Born again shell is the default shell for Linux operating system. Born shell. Then corn shell is available. C shell is available. There are three major shells available for Linux operating system. One is Bourne shell, which is the usual shell we use without even knowing its name. Okay, Bourne shell. Can you repeat? Bourne shell. BOURNE. Bourne shell. Okay, Bash. Born again shell. Bourne shell or born again shell. BOURNE. Bourne shell. Then C shell. C shell is similar to C programming language. Then corn shell or KSH. Corn shell. KORN. Corn. KORN. It's not CORN, which means our popcorn. Corn. Okay. Whereas it's KORN. It's the name of the person who created that shell. Okay. Born was also the name of the person who created Born shell. Whereas C shell does not have the name of that person. It resembles C programming language. Therefore, they named it C shell. Okay. There are three important shells. One is the Born shell. Can you repeat? Born shell, C shell, corn shell. Born shell, C shell, corn shell. Can you repeat? Born shell, C shell, corn shell. Okay, there are three important shells. Okay, these are the common commands. ls for listing directories, mkdir for creating directory, rmdir for removing directory. Then cp for copy. COPY is shortened as cp. Then mv, move. mv for move. cd, change directory. cd dot dot. I told you dot stands for me. Dot dot stands for parent. Okay, then dot dot, cd dot dot means go to parent directory. cd tilde does. It means you have to go to the home directory. Tile. Tile is meant for home. Tile is meant for home. Therefore, go to parent directory. cd / root directory. While formatting for installation of Linux system, you have specified / as the point for installation. Do you remember? That / is this root. / stands for root. Okay, go to the root directory. Then mount, mount. You insert a pen drive, mount it. Then you can mount or unmount. Mount stands for unmounting. Mount, mount. Mount stands for unmount. Then eject. Ejecting tray, CD tray, DVD tray, whatever is available, you can say eject /dev /sr0. It will simply throw out the tray. Then shutdown -r time or shutdown -h time. -r -h. Shutdown is the operation. -r will reboot the system. -h will halt the system. Do you remember? We have already covered all these things in practical. -r will reboot. -h will shut down the system. Halt. It's for halt. Okay. Then sleep. It's like what? During the class, you may simply Keep your eyes open and keep your mind shut. Sleep for 2 or 3 minutes. Then you wake up. When something happens, you may wake up and find that you are in a new environment. Similar to that, you can specify that the shell should sleep for a particular period of time, because you may be needing the printer, whereas the printer may be busy with some other task. Therefore, you say sleep for 30 seconds. Then try to get the printer's access. Then sleep for another 30 seconds. Then try to get. Sleep is used for halting the operation for a particular period of time. Okay. Then sort. Sorting a file. Here also, when you say sort followed by a file name, the file will be sorted in ascending order A to Z. Whereas if you wish to get the reverse order, sort space minus R, you should remember. Here all the options are specified with minus symbol. In Windows, all the options are specified with slash symbol. Okay. Minus R, file name. It will sort in the reverse order, Z to A order. Ascending, descending. Ascending order, A to Z. Descending order, Z to E. Okay. Then LN for linking a file. It links, it creates a link, just like our desktop shortcut. When we install a program, we get a shortcut. It's not the program itself, it is the shortcut to the particular program. Similar to that, LN will link a file, whereas it will not keep the entire file on the new location, whereas it will create a link for the existing file. LN for linking. Then tar, we have used tar command. Tar czf. Do you remember? Tar czf something friends.tar.zip or copa.tar.zip, something like that. You have used tar command. Then it can be used with czf option for creating. Then xzf option for extracting. X for extract. C for create. Z for zipping. F for file. CZF create, zip, file. XZF extract, zip, file. Okay, tar has got three options. CZF, it can be CZF, it can be XZF. CZF for creating, XZF for extracting. Then unzip or gunzip. Zip, gzip. Then unzip or gunzip, gunzip. Zip and gzip are used for zipping a file. Zipping means compressing a file, reducing the size. Then unzip and gunzip, they will be used for expanding the file. Ma, Rigana, so thank you, no problem. நீ நல்லா இருமே ஒன்னும் அடக்க வேண்டியது இல்ல. ஓகேமா? Yes. Will resume. அப்புறம் ls minus l. ls for list files. இதுல minus l கொடுத்தோம்னா என்ன ஆகும்? Okay, the language. ls minus l stands for list lengthwise. You have to specify minus l option for getting the full list of directory and file. It will start with permissions. D for directory, then rwx, 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 triplets, followed by the number of links, then by the owner, then by the group, then by the size of the file, then date of creation, then the name of the file. All these parameters would be displayed when you say ls minus 1. ls minus a is meant for all files, list all files. When you have some hidden files, they will be displayed using ls minus a. If you say minus a, all files, a for all. Then more and less are available. We have already used it in DOS and we have already used it in Linux also. When you have a long running output from a program, you cannot read it so fast. Therefore, you send it to more or less. You send it to either more or less. You send it to more or send it to less. Both of them can do a simple thing. What is it? When you press when you press space bar, they will move down page by page. When you press enter, they will move down line by line. Whereas less can do more work. How? It can search a string for you. It can go up and down both ways. whereas more cannot move up and down. When you wish to quit, you have to say Q. You have to press Q for quitting. Okay, more and less. You have to press Q for quitting. Find. You can search for a file and then execute a command on the particular file. This is the equivalent of our searching for a file in Windows Explorer. We type a string in control panel or Windows Explorer or settings. We get the result. Similar to that, from the command line, you can search for particular file using find command. Then banner. Have you seen banner command in Word? I'll show you. Banner is a beautiful command. It was used for creating large size text. Nowadays, we have large size fonts and good quality printers. No problem. Whereas in the previous times, printers were able to print only 80 characters. The width can be up to 80 characters, no more. And they were dot matrix printers. They were not laser jet or inkjet printers. Their output may not be so good. Okay. During those days, we would create good looking large size printout using banner command. I'll show you how it works. Banner. Maybe we have removed it from practical because it's no longer included as a default command in Ubuntu Linux. Banner was removed because nobody is using it. We have much better tools. Banner is not used. Then RM, remove. RM for remove. Delete. RM is similar to del. Okay, RM. Then cat minus greater than. Minus stands for keyboard, console. Minus stands for keyboard or console. So then cat, this is equivalent of copycon command. Copycon. We use copycon on Windows. The same can be done using cat minus greater than. Then cat minus double greater than will append to an existing file. When there is a file already available, you can add text to the end of the file using cat minus double greater than. When you wish to finish cat minus double greater than or cat minus greater than, you should press Control D. Control D in Linux. Control D. D for stream termination. Okay. In Windows, we have to press Control Z enter. Windows copycon should be terminated with Control Z enter. Whereas Control D is the command for terminating input stream on Linux. Control D. Date. Date command will display the date and time. Time command in Linux does some other work. Therefore, date is a single command which can give you the date, present date and the time, present time. Okay, we will see how many commands remain. We will not cover everything right now. We stop it here. Okay, from 33, from command number 33, we will take up in the afternoon. And I'll show you how banner command works in the afternoon. Oh, we may not have an afternoon session today. 2 to 3 belongs to